GearNetwork.com.
This is a Gear Network production.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to this podcast. If you're looking to support this podcast and this network, visit shopgear.com. That's shopgere.com. It will take you right to amazon.com, to your Amazon account, and you can do all of your Amazon shopping. The difference is using our link versus going to Amazon's link is that you are telling Amazon that Gear Network referred you, and they end up giving us a small percentage of your purchase, which helps out this program and this network entirely. And of course, if Amazon's not your thing, it's understandable. On gearnetwork.com, G-E-R-E network.com, if you click on the top bar that says donate to Gear, there's several different PayPal buttons. You can donate to us as well if Amazon isn't your thing. Your support is vital to helping the Gear Network maintain this programming, this quality programming, and continuing our growth through the year. As always, thank you very much for your support and your listens and your downloads and your likes and your shares from all of us here at the Gear Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Better Live Than Dead podcast.
Call recording is on. This is the podcast, BLTD 128. We are driving through the Easy Pass out here in Henrietta, and we're about to get on the Thruway. We're going to talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. This is the Unfiltered Podcast. But hey.
Unfiltered Podcast. This is the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. This is the,
You forgot the words?
No. I just wanted to say something really dumb, and then it just kind of came out and made myself sound dumb.
Well, hey, I'm Ryan Wolfe at Wolfe BLTD. Brayton is at BJ Wilson WGR. We're on the podcast. I'm driving my car on the CarCast again. You mentioned in the other podcast talking about your best road rage stories, and I don't know if I have a good one. I have cut people off and flipped people off, but I've never gotten in like a fight or anything. I don't know. Do you have any good stories?
Well, I mean, obviously mine is not going to be anything like the white trash videos that you see a guy come out and he's like punching the windows out of your car and like yelling like, get out of the car! And then like the dude gets out and he's like 10 times your size and he kicks the shit out of you. But it's like probably my worst road rage story is there was this one time that I'm driving on the 90 heading back home to the boonies down in Springville, and there was this one person behind me. This was probably at like 8:30 at night. It's raining, so it's not good road conditions. This person comes up behind me, and like I'm going the speed limit. I'm not going not going super far over the speed limit. I'm not going too slow, but I'm going the speed limit. And this person comes up behind me, and they flash their brights at me in the rear view. So like I'm getting like completely blinded by what they're doing. And the reason that they did it was because they were like, get over. And I'm like, how am I supposed to get over? I can't get any further in front of me. There's people next to me. Like, what do you want me to do? So then finally this person finds the route to go around and then gets around me. And then I got pissed and I was just like, well, you know what? Screw you. So I sped back up. I found a way to get right behind them, and I got right up on their tail end and then flashed the beams on them and just followed that person until they went off onto the 90 and I went to the 219. And I felt really good about myself after that. I was just like, yeah.
Oh, there's a police car right up here. So Brayton, you can continue talking for a second.
I don't even know what to say. Oh, there it goes.
He's gonna go get somebody.
Go get him!
Get him, Paul!
Get him!
Oh, he's got the lights on.
Or is he waiting for us?
Who's he pulling over?
I don't know.
Not me. I don't know. Maybe we're gonna get pulled over.
Nope. There he goes.
He gone. Anyways, my favorite road rage. I don't really participate much in the road rage because I'm not a mad driver. I don't know. But what I do like to do is I often will. I like to passive aggressively drive. Where if I'm driving, because I don't usually go slow on the Thruway. I go like, if the speed limit's 65, I'll go 73.
Right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I'm passing cars in the left lane and then a car comes up behind me super fast, and they're like tailgating me like hard as hell, I'll slow down purposefully, or I don't brake check people because I don't want to get slammed into, but I'll purposefully drive slow just to get my point across that, hey, you're being an asshole. Although I do have a funny story about that, about the flashing lights. I did have one time I was driving to work and a guy was he was probably 40, 50 yards behind me, approaching rapidly, flashing his high beams, just trying to get me to move out of the way.
Yep.
I waited till the last second and moved. Blew by me. Half a mile down the road, pulled over.
Good.
Suck it, bitch. That's how I feel, you know? I think people who drive like assholes need to be treated like assholes.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
Yep. And I think one thing that you may not learn, but you may learn one of these days if you're ever driving out in the Springville boony ways. There are people that are idiots out in the boonies that, think that they could just do whatever the hell they want to do on an expressway. So one day I was driving on the 219 heading south, and I'm in the left or the right lane. There's another person in the left lane that's trying to pass me. But I mean, again, I'm not going super slow. I'm going, 65 there, so I'm probably going, 69 miles an hour. Nice. And yes, very nice, very nice. And so this person's trying to pass me. Then there's this idiot in a truck. He, one of those guys that, lifts up the truck, gets the big stupid monster truck tires for whatever fucking reason that they want to do it. And next thing you know, they're driving on the shoulder, passing both of us. They're driving on the shoulder, going around, and then they just go. And it's that kind of shit that happens out in the boonies that's just like, what are you doing?
That does sound about right. I don't know.
No laws out in the neck of the woods.
Look at this truck.
Bye.
Dude, you're going probably 85. Why? I don't understand it at all.
Like, my ideal driving speed is anywhere between, 69 miles an hour and 72, especially on, a thruway or an expressway or something like that.
Not even ironically.
It's comfortable for me. And it's not, I'm not going over the limit that much. It's just I don't want to go over too much and then get caught and get the ticket or anything like that, because cops and
run your plate,
everything nowadays,
you have warrants and you'll go to prison.
Well, I mean, I don't think I have anything against my record that's more than just just a few parking tickets. But
good job.
But still, it's just you don't want to screw yourself over to the point where you get one speeding ticket and then that's going to be on your record for a while, and the next thing you know,
I once got a speeding ticket for going 72 and a 55 because I didn't realize it was a 55. And the cop said, "Why are you going so fast? You late or something?" I said, "Nah, man, I'm just cruising." And then the ticket actually said on the ticket, "Nah, man, I'm just cruising." And I was like, "Fuck, dude."
Damn.
But they knocked it down to a moving violation. It only cost me $180 to pay.
It's not bad.
Court fees and shit, But I do want to talk about something very near and dear to my heart. The Boston Red Sox won the World Series. And they did it in convincing fashion. And I mention this because Brayton was staying in Chautauqua Lake with myself, Mrs. Hot Takes, Pizza Queen, and our wonderful friend Shenny, who people of the podcast, if you know Shenny, you are so blessed. So blessed to know Shenny. And Brayton imbibed a little, had a couple soda pops.
Yeah.
And started just kind of angrily yelling about the Boston Red Sox. And how the Houston Astros were better.
A few too many wobbly pops.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's for sure.
It was a good time to be had for all. But the Boston Red Sox, World Series champions. Everything that they did this year worked out perfectly. I mean, that's the one thing where sometimes they say they're teams of destiny. We're when the Red Sox when the bombing happened in Boston. They had Boston strong. That was like a team of destiny.
Right. Yeah.
There was nothing that was going to stop them from winning.
When David Ortiz goes into the middle of the crowd and in front of the fans and national TV and says, "This is our fucking city," that's just okay, that's fine, that's understandable.
Absolutely, it's like what Houston did last year when they had a hurricane. They rallied around the team and said, we're doing this for the city. That's cool stuff. But this year, the Red Sox were just unstoppable.
Yes, they were dominant.
Spring
yes, I
training,
understand.
regular season, postseason.
Yeah.
And not only the thing is, not only do they play well and have great coaching, but like Alex Cora, every button Alex Cora pushed seemed to work. Steve Pearce got hurt. Or not Steve Pearce. Mitch Moreland got hurt. They put in Steve Pearce. He ends up being the World Series MVP. David Price, they say, you know what? After this bad start against the Yankees, we're going to stick with them. We got faith in him. He goes out and dominates. And is one of the best. He should have won the MVP of the World Series, in my humble opinion. But
I think it should have been David Price.
I think David Price should have won the MVP, absolutely. Steve Pearce got the MVP. David Price should have got the MVP. It is what it is. And, you know, it's cool, too, because most of the team should stick around. I think Craig Kimbrell probably ends up going somewhere else. They got to get Mookie Betts re-signed, who has not wanted to yet sign a long-term deal. But I think once Bryce Harper signs his $330 million contract with the Yankees or whatever, then the market will be set for Mookie Betts, and we move forward from there. But it's weird that baseball's over, though, because out of all the years, too, where I usually get really hardcore into baseball, like this year, it wasn't that way. I mean, life has been kind of busy.
It's too long of a season.
Well, life has been kind of busy, and I always seem to find a way to make it work. Like
you don't start a season in March like they did this year.
No.
And finally, they got the right picture, and they got the idea that baseball should be over in October, not November. But end it in mid-October. End it in early October. Cut the season down by 20 games.
I think they need to play like 100.
It is ridiculously too long. 162 games is a nightmare for me.
I mean, I think you probably could play like 140, 145 games and you're totally fine.
140 is fine.
Just because I think with September, it really should honestly be September. Like September is, because September baseball is intense.
Yeah.
And like you have the season end in September, playoffs in October. I mean, that's kind of how it is now, actually. Never mind. Early September. Season ends like August, dog days of summer. Trade deadlines in July. August, you win the pennant. September, the season's over, and then the playoffs start. So you finish the season early October.
Win the division in August, you mean? Late August, you win the division?
Yeah.
Win
the pennant. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
No, I like that idea. I like the idea of having. I like the idea of still having meaningful baseball in September. That's the regular season, but start the playoffs in mid-September, and then by the time that it's the early October, that's the World Series. That's fall baseball.
Do exactly what they do in the minors, where the first week of September, the season's over, regular season's over,
right,
and then the champion by mid-September.
Yep,
that's perfect. Because you still get good games, still have good days. I mean, I like it that, baseball overlaps into hockey, so like now hockey season's just starting for me.
Right.
Like football's been trash. We talked about that on Trust the Podcast, but
yeah, it's been a terrible season.
It's just been it's been different. I mean, it's I don't know. This person's coming up to me quick, man. Jesus. These are the kind of people I hate. Just like pass me, bro.
CarCast.
Exactly. We're going to do a video cast, but excuse me. I have like really painful burps right now. It's weird. Please, picking her nose. Pick me a winner, bro. I think I ran out of things to talk about already.
Man, we started up this podcast. It's just like, oh, yeah, this is good. Oh, we're done already?
12 minutes into the Better Live Than Dead podcast, 128, we're dying. You know what?
So we talked about the Red Sox.
Well, I got a question for you.
We don't want to mention the Bills.
Well, no, I do want to mention the Bills, but I have a question for you.
Okay, what's your question?
Is Patrick Mahomes your MVP?
Yeah.
I think it's Mahomes or I think it's Gurley. But the question I have with Mahomes, like, I talked with John about this on Trust the Podcast, so I'll bring it up and I'll ask you. The Bills had the opportunity to draft Pat Mahomes. We know that. The Bills traded the pick, ended up getting Tre'Davious White. The Chiefs ended up getting Pat Mahomes.
Yep.
It's a different system, different coaching, so I understand that much. But there's talent clearly there.
Yeah, sure.
Does it worry you that the Buffalo Bills, whether or not maybe they didn't see the talent, which is terrifying, one, or maybe they saw the talent and said, we don't think he'll fit in our system. Do either of those terrify you, or do you think that, I just don't. I guess really don't know the question I'm trying to ask.
I think I know what
is it just terrifying?
Right. Is it terrifying to think that the Bills might have missed something huge here and then went and got Josh Allen, who we still don't know if he's going to be a huge thing, but the signs right now are troublesome. They're a little worrying. I think personally that when you... Yeah, I know. I'm looking at that. There's a car that's backwards. Looks like there was an accident. But anyway, the thing that I worry about with this whole thing with Patrick Mahomes is you see how things work with
that happen?
I don't know. It was very weird. But back to the Mahomes point. When what you're asking with are you worried that they didn't see the talent or they evaluated and thought that it didn't fit? I think if they didn't see the talent in Patrick Mahomes, that's a big, big red flag. I think that would be the more worrying part of it. If it was more of just like, we don't think he would fit in our system, then you say, okay, I guess so, but then what is Josh Allen to you then? Because he's almost the exact same quarterback, except Allen has, I think, more accuracy issues than Mahomes.
And the one thing, too, that I worry is that are the Bills... Because again, John mentioned they have the picks, they have the money. That is correct.
Yes.
But you have to trust their ability to spend that money wisely and properly and make those picks the right way.
Yeah.
So my worry is that maybe I'm just too pessimistic because I'm too much of a Bills fan at this point in time in my life. I've been beaten over the head numerous times with this team, is that if they didn't, like you said, if they didn't recognize the talent in Pat Mahomes, that's really bad, but that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you look at a guy like Pat Mahomes and say, look at the type of quarterback he is, he doesn't fit our system. First off, what are the odds that Sean McDermott is going to outlast Pat Mahomes? Probably slim to none.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Right.
But why can't you look at a quarterback like Pat Mahomes and say, we can speed up our rebuild by a year, get a talented quarterback like Pat Mahomes. We may have to adjust our system around him, but let's do it. And that's the one thing I worry about is that, hey, if they look at Pat Mahomes or any talented player and say, hey, this guy might not fit our system because, the way he plays, whatever, it doesn't cater well to us, but we'll change our system for him. And the Bills don't seem very apt at doing that, which terrifies me.
Yeah, and you look at the way that they've kind of built this team over the years. Like, granted, making the playoffs was a huge thing. Getting that big monkey off your back, that's huge. It's a relief to not only the organization, but it's a relief for the fans. It's a relief in the national spotlight where it's like, oh, you're not the laughingstock of the entire sports world anymore. That's awesome. But you take a quarterback like Tyrod Taylor, who, he's not going to turn the ball over. He's a guy that will check down a lot, but he was a guy that still threw the ball. He's not like he was a guy that didn't throw for 100 yards per game. I mean, Josh Allen did it twice. One of the games he was injured and probably would have thrown for more. But, I mean, this team doesn't throw the ball as much as they kind of want to. They're still very much a team. Well, let me rephrase. They're a team that's trying to throw the ball. They just can't throw the ball right now because they don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball.
I mean, the Bills continue to build this team. Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane want to build this team based around the run. And
Which is so old school, and it's a dinosaur.
It says booby. The license plate was 8008E. Booby. Anyways, I think if you are an NFL executive and or head coach in 2018 that is trying to build your team based around the run, you need to shit in your hand and clap. Because you are a moron. Even the Rams have the best running back in the league.
But they have a young quarterback who can sling the ball.
Their offense is still built around the pass.
Yes, exactly.
Build your offense around granted, you can't even build your offense around the run when you can't block. So your future Hall of Fame running back, I said it, LaShawn McCoy is a Hall of Famer.
At this rate, he is,
He absolutely is. When he's averaging, 2.6 or whatever yards a carry, because your offensive line can't create a hole, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Josh Allen's had the opportunity to throw the ball, had some time, and when he's had the time, he's not made the best of calls.
No.
Whatever, he's young. He'll learn, hopefully. If not, he'll be JP Lossman again. But Derek Anderson got a concussion. He got banged up. So now you've got
to throw Nathan Peterman back in the mix.
back in. You've got Matt Barkley as your backup quarterback. I mean, you did it. I said it a couple weeks ago on Trust the Podcast. You did it to yourself, Buffalo. You put yourself in this position, in this situation. If you had an adequate enough backup quarterback, God forbid you go out and do your homework and get an actual guy who can play quarterback like Colin Kaepernick. I don't know. Oh wait, no, I forgot. He's not. He sucks, right? Because he led the 49ers to the Super Bowl. He's terrible. So never scratch that. He's a really bad quarterback. If you go out and found a competent backup quarterback who wasn't intercepting the ball or throwing interceptions at an historic pace, as mentioned, if Nathan Peterman were to start every game in a season, he would have thrown roughly 69 interceptions. Like, that's
nice.
Not good.
Nice?
Not good.
Okay,
at all.
so not nice.
Bad nice.
Okay, bad nice.
Bad nice.
Okay.
He's not good. They've done a very bad job of surrounding anybody with... Now, look at it. If they go out this offseason and they do what the Rams did and they go out and the Rams go out and get Brandon Cooks, they make sure to sign... I mean, this was different offseasons, but upgrade their offensive line. They go out and get weapons for Jared Goff.
Yep.
I mean, that's what you have to do for Josh Allen, because even if Josh Allen's not the guy, you got to give it your all.
Well, look at what the Bears did with Mitch Trubisky. They went out and got him a ton of talent.
But here's the thing, and
the Bears are the NFC North leading team right now, and they're coming to Buffalo to play the Bills.
That's a perfect example. Who knows if Mitch Trubisky's even the guy in Chicago?
But they're trusting him as if he is the future of that team.
Yeah, but they're giving him the opportunity to say, look, our defense is badass. They've regressed a little. Mm-hmm. Our defense is badass. Our offense has enough weapons to help it be good. And if he doesn't do it, they'll find someone else who can. The Buffalo Bills aren't doing that. No, they haven't surrounded their young quarterback or their whoever they want to play at quarterback, because it was Nathan Peterman, then it's Josh Allen, now it's then it was Derek Anderson, now it's Nathan Peterman again, and it's probably going to be Matt Barkley next week after Peterman throws like 8 interceptions against Chicago. It's just like, when are you going to give your team the best shot? Because, I mean, it's just like, LaShawn McCoy's a great running back, but he's 30 years old, and the offensive line is terrible. And then you have your wide receiver options of Andre Mahomes, Kelvin Benjamin. Holmes. You're okay. You got Pat Mahomes on your mind.
Zay Jones has been better. I've really liked how Zay Jones has come along this season. He's been a big bright spot for the Bills' offense. But if you're not getting him the ball, who are you getting the ball? Charles Clay is an okay tight end. He's not great, but it's like those type of players like Charles Clay probably won't be here next year. They're going to probably try and cut him to make more money, or to free up more money for the team. Andre Holmes, I would really hope he's not here next year. Calvin Benjamin's definitely not coming back, I don't think.
Yeah, I would hope not.
Unless he has a completely switches 180 change of heart.
Unless he remembers how to catch the goddamn football.
Yeah. Well,
but I mean, I don't want to talk too much about the Bills, because we do talk about the Bills a lot on Trust the Podcast. Hence the reason we have a specific podcast for it. But hey, I just wanted to clear that up, because I know John. I love John. He's a good friend, family, I would say. But I know he's a Jets fan, and I feel like sometimes outside looking in, they don't understand it.
Well, they have Sam Darnold, who hasn't looked all world, but
it's more of a safer pick, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
But we're almost back to Batavia. We're actually just seeing the signs for Batavia Downs exit 48, which we got to go sometime. Drink some beers. You can get some really big old beers
for winners only.
Yeah, you can get the really big beers at Thurman Thomas's bar.
Thurman's a good guy.
You go gamble.
Yep.
And then come back.
It was WGR night last night, and I couldn't even go.
Where at?
At Batavia Downs.
Did I totally miss it?
Yeah, I missed it too.
What the hell, man? Who was there?
I had to work.
Everybody was there?
Not everybody, but there were, it's a lot of the main guys were.
Oh. I could have showed up and said, "Who wants to see my pizza penis?"
I'm pretty sure that nobody would have wanted to.
That's terrible. I shouldn't have put that on the radio. Whatever.
We could completely edit that out.
Just not put this podcast
or,
up.
yeah, exactly. Or just blurt it out and bleep it out.
Yeah.
With a lot of the things that we've said, because we've dropped a lot of naughty words, which is weird for me, because you know me, I'm a guy that does not like to say a lot of that stuff, because I do like to just be more of a radio guy.
I try to be professional too, but sometimes it just happens. I used to in the earlier BLTD podcasts.
In the earlier BLTD, it was like
it's like a filth fest.
No censorship.
Yeah, it's a filth fest over there. But
I always try to keep my cool. But I've dropped a few, bad words today.
That's okay. We're driving in the car.
Exactly. Road rage. We're all. I mean, you're driving. I'm riding passenger. But I feel that rage. I feel the rage.
I feel the rage rolling through my body. I think we're going to go get some lunch. We're just getting off the exit. We're going over the ramp right now.
Going to get some pizza and then watch the Sabres game and then go out to Rochester for the Amherst game tonight.
Yeah. Lots of hockey all the time.
Yes, indeed. Lots and lots of hockey.
So with that being said, we're rolling up to the Easy Pass or the prepaid tolls. I don't want to give Easy Pass any free promo. They don't give me any money. But I am Ryan Wolfe at Wolfe BLTD. Brayton is at BJ Wilson WGR. We are Better Live Than Dead.
And you are not.
We will catch you sometime very soon. Thanks again for tuning in, friends. Bye.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.